just froze. But I guess this is part two. If anybody's watching this, I just posted it up. I don't know what happened. Um, yeah. But anyways, I guess you could call this part two. This is part two of changing your relationship with emotions. I can't see none earlier, so I'm just redoing this again. I'm not gonna go through all the things I was talking about, but I guess I could talk about a little bit what I was talking about, which was your internal dialogue. What are you consistently telling yourself? What are you constantly saying to yourself? So that you're you're using your subconscious mind to work in favor with your conscious mind, so that you're not always constantly battling this type of resistance. Um, anyways, a relationship with yourself, having complete acceptance. So I guess this is how you could say this. What is your complete acceptance? Letting go of being a victim. And you start looking at things as a whole. And you become and you are becoming that person that you want to become. And you start attracting like-minded people, because that is how you're going to operate. Now, you still want more for yourself, so you're not gonna just stay there and stay behind and not move. Um, but you accept who you are completely. So, letting go of the resistance that you have with yourself, and accept that you will have good and bad days. Let's see. I don't know, Annie. I couldn't read anything earlier, so today feels like a train wreck, but it's okay. I still got to do a lot of this, my slides. Um, hold on, let's see. Okay, okay. I know. I'm also using this new, not new, but yeah. I got your back. I want to see your, if you, I got your back if you want to see the comment. I think I could see that. It literally just froze. I don't know what happened. Um, which kind of sucks because this hasn't happened before. Anyways, having complete acceptance, okay? By letting go of the resistance that you have with yourself, and accept that you will have good and bad days. And that enlightenment isn't only happiness. Just know that you're going to have bad days. Only accepting the good and resisting the bad is resisting a part of you. Okay, it's weird. I can't see. Okay, I see you on, Cheeky. What's up? What's up? Oh, he back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. What the hell happened? I couldn't see anything. It must be Sophie. She kicked the wire. Um. Anyways. I hope what I'm saying making my mind's going like this right now. My mind's going like this. And why are you still awake, Julie? Look in here. You can't sleep. Yeah, why are you still awake? Isn't it like 2 a.m. in the morning? Thank you for the light. Appreciate it. Yeah. I needed to make that part two. Anyways, so I want to talk about what quote unquote this enlightenment that what most people have. So the old gurus, what they used to have is this type of enlightenment where they're like, oh, okay, I am where I am at now. You haven't found it yet, so you guys should look up to me. Like, no, that's not how it works with enlightenment. Enlightenment means, yes, I'm back. Enlightenment means that you are going to experience bad days. You are going to have days where you're not going to enjoy yourself, but it's finding that center back again so that you can allow yourself to have a better day. So it's having the relationship you have with the good, and having a relationship that you have with the bad. And one thing I appreciate about what Julian said was, if you're only focusing on the good and you're ignoring the bad, then you're ignoring a part of you as a person. You can't ignore part of those feelings, because you just can't be like, oh, no more bad days. Like, no, that does not exist. You're always going to have bad days. And instead of moving away from it, you need to move towards it in order to become stronger and more resilient, right? Because what happens when people tell you something about this is bad, what happens? people are like, oh, I don't want to feel that way, so I tend to run away from it or ignore it. And so what really needs to happen is when you are feeling bad, okay, tell yourself, why do you feel this way, and how can I learn from this experience where I'm not in this traumatic state anymore, where it doesn't trigger this area of my life where I'm like, okay, um I don't, because what ends up happening is when I talk to most people and I talk about, hey, what's been going on, how are you, they kind of talk about their problems a little bit, but what ends up happening is they're like, oh, I just don't want to talk about it, or I don't want to focus on this problem anymore. And I'm like, okay, why? And they're like, nah, it just makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm like, good, this is a great time to change the relationship that you have with your emotions, because yes, the feeling of hurt isn't a comfortable feeling, but those are the feelings that's going to help make you become better, more resilient. And if you tend to always run away from things that are always going bad and you only trying to experience the good, you will never push through that barrier. You will never become a better person. So, um, and what ends up happening is most people, they fall in this false idea of enlightenment, that every day must be this good day. Like, no, it doesn't happen like that. All right, it's more like, I know every day won't be the best, but how can I get to the good if I am having a bad day? So show of hand, guys, how many people still wake up with bad days, right? And ask ask yourself, what is your dialogue that you're currently having with yourself? Are you saying like, oh, I know today isn't the best, but I know what I can do, I know what I need to do, which is, like going to the gym, taking care of myself, eating healthier, right? Those are things that will make me not only feel better, but I'm working towards becoming healthier too, right? Whereas most people, they're like, I just want to drown myself in this beverage, right? Or doing whatever. It's like they're trying so hard to escape reality that they're trying to ignore reality, and we already know what happens when you ignore reality, right? I'm pretty sure by now you guys are like, oh my god, here he goes again, ignore reality. Guys like Mitchell, High Valley don't want to self molest. Wow, what is going on in the chat? All right, so this takes courage, and being authentic to yourself is the beginning of courage, right? So, what I'm saying is, guys, do not disown your feelings, okay? Do not disown your feelings. Change the relationship that you have with it and move towards it, not away from it. So, show a hand, guys or ladies. How many of you guys find yourself, or ladies, find yourself always trying to run away from a situation? Always trying to like move, like, oh, I don't like this, so I'm just gonna move away from it. Like, how many times do you find yourself in that type of situation? And really ask yourself, like, why are you moving away from it versus moving towards it? Is it because it's uncomfortable and you rather feel more comfortable? I think everybody wants to feel comfortable, but to overcome something is to move towards it. What you look at disappears, okay? What you resist persists. Anyways, don't disown your feelings. Change the relationship that you have with it. Okay? So it isn't that I don't feel angry or sad anymore. It's that I don't feel the need I don't feel the need that it needs to run my life. I'm not going to let it run me. It's not going to overtake how I want to move back into my center. That's the key. And I think everything froze again. I can't see anything anymore. It's weird. YouTube's acting weird. Um. Anyways, let's see. It's because, okay. Here's another. So this is what happened when I was over at Genesis. When I was at Genesis, and by the way, guys, I can't read your messages or your chats. Um, I was hanging out with Vanessa, right? And we were all like a group of us. We were just walking, and Vanessa was like, "Hey, she was like, oh, it's cold. I just wanna put on my jacket." I was like, "Sure, no problem." I was like, "Here, you want me to like just hold on to your backpack so that you can put on your jacket?" She's like, "Oh no, it's cool." So I was like, "All right, fine." She was like, "Yeah, actually, you know what, Mitchell? Maybe that'll be helpful." So I grabbed it for her, right? And what ended up happening was, I ran and I pretend I was throwing it away to the street. So we all had a good laugh. I don't know what happened here, okay? Now, this is another person. She was walking towards me, right? We were going like this. And what ended up happening was she just kind of looked at me like, wow, you doing this because, I'm this race? And I'm like, what is she talking about? I was just, and then I was like, immediately what ended up happening was it did like catch me kind of like, what the hell? And I was a bit defensive, but at the same time, I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. Now, if she were to give me time, I would have explained it, but I didn't really need to have an explanation for her. So I was like, I zoomed out. I zoomed out of the thing, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna have a good time anyways because that was my intention. My intention wasn't to. I really don't know what happened. She just got mad. This lady just got mad at me for no apparent reason, right? And I'm pretty sure she has her reasons. I just didn't know what was going on. But she was like, "What? For real? You gonna do this?" I was like, yeah." In my mind, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know you, so you're not really that important, but I'm just gonna continue on." Anyways, guys, apparently YouTube just freezes. I can't see anything, so I'm going to continue this and then I'm going to end this and then I'm going to hop back onto IG later and you guys can tell me what's going on because I don't know what's going on. Okay. So, changing labels. Okay. By changing the label, and I want to start out with this quote: emotions never cause you to suffer. It's your attachment to only feeling positive emotions and your resistance to feeling negative emotions. That's what causes you to suffer. Excuse me. So I'm going to say it again. I think this was really, really eye opening. It's because emotions don't really, it doesn't cause us to suffer. It's our attachment to only feeling the goods. It's like, no, you feel the bad too. And if once you know that there are good and bad days, you're not, and it's not setting yourself up to this expectation of, oh, I only can experience good days, and when I experience bad days, everything just sucks. It's like, no, know that both will happen. It's just knowing, being aware of it, and when you're not having a good day, how can you move back into your center, right? It's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and get up. So Rocky Balboa. So emotions never cause you to suffer. It's your attachment to only feeling positive emotions and your resistance to feeling negative emotions. It's resisting. What you resist persists. It just keeps growing, right? And if there's always this type of resistance that you're having, no matter, it's gonna be draining. It's gonna be tiring. It's like this is an empty bottle, empty-ish bottle. If I told you to hold this bottle for like 2 minutes, you'd be fine. But if I told you to hold this bottle for an hour, your arm's gonna start getting numb. So it's not about this bottle being this weight. It's that amount of duration, that time that you're holding on to this resistance. This is the resistance, even though it's not a lot. If you keep holding on to it, it's going to catch up. And eventually, what ends up happening is people feel like they have to run away, whether it's a vacation or maybe drinking or trying to escape reality or finding that, oh, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, kind of thing. Like, no, that's not how it works. All right. So it's changing the label that you have with it. So changing the label and letting go of being triggered. Okay. Um, and the example was me almost getting hit by the car. So I already told you that, so I'm not gonna get into that. Um, am I still gonna have bad days? Absolutely. Will there still be times where I'm not feeling the best? 100%. Will there be moments where I feel like I'm not gonna be loved sometimes? Sometimes I feel a little bit unworthy. It's like, yeah, of course. Like we all feel that way, but sometimes you have to kind of look back within and start thinking like, Okay. Well, why do you feel like you're unworthy? Why is it? What is the self-talk that you're constantly telling yourself? By changing that label, like, well, I feel unworthy because, I couldn't do this dance step, and I practiced so long. Well, okay, so maybe it's not that you're unworthy, it's just that you're not as patient as you should be or you could be. And that's why it's so important to enjoy the process of what you do, like what I'm doing here with you guys, with the YouTube live, and the IG lives previously. It's really enjoying that process, because then, only then, you're not worry about the outcome as much. And when things come, it will come, right? So, yes, by changing the label that you have with it, you're creating a different relationship with yourself. by changing by changing that dialogue. What are you constantly saying to yourself? So be aware of what you're letting go. That's step number one. That's really important. If you don't even know, start writing things down. But being aware of what you want to let go. And number two is feel those emotions. Like, what is it? What is that one word that you're feeling? I feel dumb. I don't feel loved. I feel like I'm hurt. Like, why you're hurt? What is this feeling like? Really dive deep and follow your trail of whys, and then really feel that emotion. And then once you start feeling it, then you dive deep into it, as maybe it's not what's happening, but it's what happened to you in the past that's causing you to always constantly attract these same type of people. So there's something that needs to be done in order for something else to be different, right? You can't, if you do what you always did, you're always gonna get what you always got. So that's what's gonna happen. If you don't change, nothing will change. So by changing the label that you have with this type of emotions, like, okay, when I do have bad days, when I do have bad days, why? Why do I have this bad day? Oh, it's because, oh yeah, I just didn't sleep that well. Okay. Well, if you didn't sleep that well, how can you sleep a little bit better? Did you not have enough food? Like, what's going on? And really focus on the facts rather than just your emotions. That way, you can really think about a solution based. Uh, then you're focusing on a solution. Then you have something to work towards, rather than why me? Why does this happen to me? Right. So, and I thought that was really really creative on Julian's side, because I I noticed that that's what I started doing without knowing it, and I liked how he put it into words. So I love being a student. I'll always be a student, and I got a lot to learn. I still feel like I have a whole bunch to learn. And guys, by the way, I still can't read anything. Okay, I still can't read anything. So if you guys could see this, great. Um, and when I'm done with this, please let me know what's going on IG Live. I'm just gonna hop in and see what's going on. All right. So I have a few more things to say, and then I'm gonna end it, and then I'm gonna go on IG. All right. So that's what's gonna happen. So, let's see. Okay. So by changing the label, you're creating a different relationship you have with yourself. This is how you can control emotions rather than letting your emotions run you. So before you engage in your quote unquote reactive energy, most of the time, really take a step back. Take a step back. What is the strongest course of action? If I start lashing out, is it gonna make the situation any better, or not? It might make you feel better, but it doesn't make the situation better. So you always want to think about what is the strongest course of action. Like, is this going to help the situation? Even though it means that you get to relieve yourself a little bit by yelling and screaming, but it doesn't really solve anything, then that is not helping the situation. So maybe that is not the strongest course of action. And the strongest course of action at that point is to take a step back, be less reactive, less of that reactive energy. And it's during those time of pressure, when life, I guess you could say, life squeezes you, right? That's how you could really build that resilience, that emotional resilience, and that's how your character is going to be judged. All right. um and sit on it, and later on respond to it accordingly. Okay. So um since I can't really see anybody, I am going to end it on this last note, which is the best thing about it, about things that happens for you, is that you get to look for opportunities in a setback rather than focusing on the problems that's being oriented towards you, right? It's really being able to look at the problems and be like, okay, this is a problem. What can I do to solve this so that it doesn't happen again? Or if it does happen, maybe I will react a different way so that I'm not just giving out my reactive energy, and people will see you differently. And the funny thing is, it's like, if when I heard that quote, work harder on yourself than you do your job, just remember that everybody is human that you're working with, I hope. Okay, I hope you're not working for monkeys and dogs. Um so you're working with humans, right? And when you're working with humans, know that people have emotions, okay? But if you cool, calm, and collected, you're just doing your job, you don't complain about things, and you do it great, but then you're not just doing the least amount for like, do what you do at your job and do the best at your job. That's what I'm saying. And when you do the best at it and you don't complain about it and you're working towards becoming better at that job, people will see that. And when they see that, they're gonna start, they will even give you that promotion rather than someone that's already been there for like 5, 6, 7 years, because they're like, you seem more calm, more collected, you seem like a better person, you're working towards yourself, I like your character. And it's like, I it makes them feel good about making that decision of giving you the promotion than somebody else, because when you work towards becoming a better person, less reactive, it's your character is going to be judged. Okay, so that's why I feel like when people always try to work from the outside in rather than the inside out, it usually causes this type of resentment when things don't go their way, because you're always trying to look for that validation outside to give you some justification about, oh, this is how you should feel good. So that's why I think about the whole social media idea. It's like, it's cool, it gives people something to do, but it doesn't really feed the soul. What feeds the soul is working from the inside, looking deep within, so that you feel fulfilled and nothing's gonna stop you from doing what you love doing. Um, but that's why whenever I see setbacks, I look at those as opportunities on how can I learn from this, versus like, why did this happen to me? This shit again. Oh my god. Oh, I never get a break. It's like, no, problems will always happen. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills, okay? So, Jim Rohn, you've been saying that the entire life. Um, and even today, like just right now, I just had this light bulb. It just popped in my head. I'm like, wow, okay, this all puzzles together. And people like a person that's just more outgoing and happy and more positive, right? Rather than someone that just always sits there and complain about a situation that they could have done to fix, rather than just complaining about it. So, anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Um, we have Sophie. Hold on. Come on.
Yeah,
Wait,
it
wait,
took so long.
no worries. Sophie. Okay. Oh, wait. Sophie,
Ow, ow.
you gotta tuck your feet. Okay. So, I'm gonna hang up. Hang up. I'm gonna leave now, and then I'm going to go on IG Live so that you guys can hang out with Sophie. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Um, Today's topic was changing your relationship with emotions, and I hope you guys learned a lot from it. But right now, I'm going to IG Live so that you guys could talk to Sophie. I think that would be fun.
Okay,
Okay,
see you
bye. Say
later.
bye.
Bye. Bye.